This is Marcus Schaller, and here's today's morning spark to help you unlock your creative problem solving potential. Today, we're going to talk about best practices. What if the concept of best practices is keeping us stuck, keeping us tethered to the same tired approaches to solving fluid, complex, and context specific challenges? Let's start with the definition of best practice. One definition is commercial or professional procedures that are accepted or prescribed as being correct or most effective. Now, think about some of the ways you might come across a best practice in your work life. A boss says something like, the best practice for this issue is to do blank. An author or influencer posts something like, here's a best practice for blank. Or we hear a piece of advice often enough that we just assume this must be a best practice for blank. In other words, when someone uses the term best practice, what they really mean is this is the correct and most effective way to get something done. They take one possible solution of many and turn it into a foregone conclusion. They imply that no other approaches, processes, or perspectives need to even be considered or discussed. Really? Says who? Best is a relative word. Best for whom? Best in what particular scenarios or situations? Best yesterday, 10 years ago, today, tomorrow? To solve tough problems in a constantly changing world, we need to free ourselves from dogmatic notions of best and stay open to exploring new and better ways of doing things. So, what will you do today to expand your perception beyond other people's opinions of best? Will you see best practices for what they really are? They're just ideas and actions that worked at a point in time and in particular situations. Will you be willing to think more deeply about other people's versions of best practices rather than automatically take them as truth that must be adhered to without question or discussion? And will you reframe these best practices as other people's opinions about what works and then use these ideas as starting points for exploring new approaches? If you like today's episode, I hope you'll consider sharing it with others. And if you haven't done so already, please take a moment to subscribe to the show and leave a review. Now get out there and have an extraordinary day.